Now we turn our attention to Africa, to Niger in the west, where an exodus is taking place. An exodus of US military personnel. About 1,000 American troops are in Niger. They were deployed to combat terrorism. This country has been hit by a terror insurgency. The previous government was trying to counter it with the help of French and American soldiers. But a coup took place in Niger last year. The Junta ousted the French as soon as they took power, but they let the Americans stay for a while. Now it seems that the Junta is done with the US as well. Niger and the US negotiated a withdrawal deal last month. The US has till September to leave. So the soldiers have begun packing up. Here's our report.
A few days ago, there was a ceremony in Niger, a relatively somber procession. There were just soldiers in attendance, troops from two countries, the home nation, Niger, and US military personnel. The troops gathered around an aircraft, an American military transportation plane, a C-17 Globemaster III. The troops had gathered around the aircraft to watch it depart.
The June 7th flight of the U.S. Air Force's C-17 Globemaster III from Niamey Air Force Base 101 marks the start of a series of wide-body aircraft rotations to repatriate personnel and equipment in accordance with the May 19, 2024 agreement. Since the agreement on the withdrawal of U.S. troops was signed on May 19, 2024, more than 269 of the 946 troops and several tons of equipment have already left Niger.
The US military is on the clock. They have to leave Niger by September 15th. That means the US has about 3 months. 3 months to pack up all their equipment and make their way out of Niger. It won't be easy, because the US has invested a lot in Niger's defensive capabilities over the years. The Americans were using two air bases in Niger, called Airbase 101 and Airbase 201. 101 was a common base, shared by the Americans and the French. It's located in Niger's capital, Niamey. The US was initially using this for its aerial counter-terrorism operations. But a few years ago, Washington decided it needed a new location, a base closer to the terrorists. So between 2016 and 2019, they built another base, Airbase 201. It's located near the city of Agadez. The base was specialized for MQ-9 Reaper drones. The Americans built the base at a cost of over $100 million, but now they have to dismantle it, take it apart and ship out the pieces, or risk their equipment falling into enemy hands. The US has experienced this already, when it withdrew its forces from Afghanistan. The Taliban now use the American weapons and vehicles left behind. The US has 3 months to avoid a similar scenario in Niger. But this time, it won't be militants who'll take over the equipment. It might be the Russians. Russian soldiers are already in Airbase 101, the base in Niger's capital Niamey. After the Americans leave, the Russians will be free to use Airbase 201 as well. Considering the current hostilities between the two nations, it would be a loss of face for the US if Russian troops got hold of American equipment. Niger is trying to soften this blow.
Finally, the two parties reiterate that this withdrawal of American forces will have no impact on current relations between the Republic of Niger and the United States of America.
The junta claims there are no hard feelings. It's all business. It has just gone a different way, opting for assistance from Russia instead of the West. Niger has every right to do that, of course. It's a sovereign nation that is entitled to pick its partners. But the withdrawal paints the US in a poor light. It wasn't allowed to stay, despite having spent millions on Niger's defense. That is a failure of US diplomacy. And it shows that America's clout around the world has started to shrink.
Firstpost reports from the world's second largest continent. Hello, I'm Alison Lagrange. A very warm welcome from Durban, South Africa. We get you the news and the newsmakers from Africa. From elections to climate change to innovations and opportunities. As the world's attention shifts, we report from Africa, the heart of the global South. Join me every weekday live on Firstpost.